Welcome to this explainer. Whenever we hear about high-level financial systems, it usually involves this confusing Wall Street jargon that just feels completely disconnected from our daily lives, right? Like it only belongs in a textbook or some corporate boardroom. But today, we're actually bypassing all of that. We're going to look at a grassroots student action plan that takes those massive concepts and brings them right down to the community level. We are breaking down one advocate's highly structured 5W1H framework for spreading awareness about Islamic finance. It's just a brilliant example of how a simple, individual strategy can spark genuine financial literacy. Okay, let's dive into this. To dissect this strategy, we're using that 5W1H blueprint. We're going to quickly cover the ethical finance vision, what the goals are, why spread this knowledge, who and where, when and how, and finally, creating positive financial change.
Starting off with Part 1, the ethical finance vision.
This entire initiative is driven by one core realization from the student. Quote, finance is not only about earning money, it is also about ethics, fairness, transparency, and social responsibility. After studying the subject, the student had a major light bulb moment. Placing ethics, fairness, and transparency on the exact same level as profit margins, that's a radical shift in perspective. It means recognizing that finance is fundamentally tied to how we treat one another and really how society functions as a whole. Which brings us to the core concept, Islamic finance. It's defined as a financial system that avoids interest-based transactions, promotes risk sharing, and aims to build a framework that benefits society. Now think about why that matters. Focusing on shared risk fundamentally changes the relationship between a bank and a borrower. It moves us away from a purely extractive model and toward an active partnership focused on actual societal benefit. And that is exactly the knowledge this campaign aims to spread. Let's move to Part 2. What are the goals?
This plan relies on three super practical initiatives. First, discussing these concepts in simple language with friends and family. Second, taking those ideas and sharing short educational summaries via WhatsApp and social media. And third, organizing small, collaborative discussion sessions with classmates. What's so brilliant here is how massive, potentially intimidating financial concepts are shrunk down into everyday, accessible actions. We're not talking about writing a 500-page book. We're talking about a quick WhatsApp message or just a casual chat across the dinner table.
Because here's the massive hurdle we face every day. People swipe their cards and take out loans from conventional banks without fully understanding the underlying system they're participating in. The gap between everyday banking and Islamic finance is kind of obscured by habit. People simply don't know the difference. So the primary goal of this framework is tackling that gap in everyday financial literacy head-on.
All right, Part 3, why spread this knowledge?
Honestly, why do this? Without a strong why, even the best-laid plans just fizzle out. So what exactly is fueling this campaign?
Now, what's really interesting about this strategy is how spreading awareness directly correlates to societal health. By promoting ethical business practices, fairness, and social welfare, this awareness helps people make informed financial choices, which in turn creates better decision-making across the board. It's a profound ripple effect. When a community shifts its understanding from purely profit-driven motives to ethics-based finance, actual behaviors change. One informed choice at a time positively contributes to the entire economic ecosystem. Moving into Part 4, who and where. This is a highly strategic, multi-layered approach. It starts locally at the university, specifically targeting classmates. Then it moves into the home, focusing on close friends and family members. And finally, it scales up onto digital platforms to reach the broader online public. It's literally the perfect blueprint for grassroots scaling, building a rock-solid local foundation before projecting the message outward. And remember, this isn't a solo mission. As the advocate notes, teamwork creates greater impact because learning together improves understanding and allows us to benefit each other in both this world and the hereafter. There's a really unique duality there. The effort is highly collaborative, aiming for tangible worldly benefits, like a better economic understanding, while simultaneously securing spiritual and ethical benefits for the community. Next up, Part 5, when and how. A strict deadline is set for May 31st, 2026. Now, assuming today is May 27th, 2026, that hard deadline is literally just days away. And nothing creates action quite like a ticking clock, right? Setting a locked-in calendar date prevents this from becoming just another vague, someday goal. We all know the universal pressure of a looming student deadline. It forces focus, demands commitment, and turns theoretical plans into immediate action. Let's see how this builds across 4 distinct weeks. Week 1 is purely preparation, getting those learning materials and key concepts ready to go. Week 2 goes local, sharing that knowledge directly with family and friends. Week 3 steps out into the university, conducting that crucial discussion session with classmates. And finally, Week 4 scales it up, sharing awareness content online and evaluating the progress. It is a perfectly sequenced chronological rollout. As for the execution, it relies on 4 key steps. Use simple language, provide practical examples, utilize digital platforms, and maintain continuous discussions. That last step is the absolute magic ingredient here. Instead of just sharing a post once and walking away, the strategy relies on a continuous, repeatable loop to make learning an ongoing process. It's all about keeping the conversation alive over time. And that brings us to our final section, creating positive financial change. So the crucial point is this. Knowledge becomes meaningful when it creates positive change through small but consistent efforts. This initiative isn't trying to rewrite global banking laws overnight. No way. Instead, it relies on small, consistent, highly organized steps within an immediate community to spread awareness about ethical financial understanding. Monumental societal shifts almost always begin with exactly these types of structured, grassroots actions. So here is a question for you to chew on. How can you apply this kind of structured, grassroots knowledge-sharing blueprint to your own community? Whether your passion is finance, science, the arts, or anything in between, take this 5W1H method and use it to spark change in your own circles. The framework is right here. Now it's yours to use. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I can't wait to explore our next topic with you soon.